Vauxhall already has a large range of battery electric vehicles, but there's a new entrant to the range, the Grandland, and we're testing it in Suffolk, and that's why there's a large pile of sugar beet right behind us. But before we get into the nitty-gritty, don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our channel. The Grandland is what they call the higher C-segment SUV. That puts it in the same class as the VW ID4. Straight away you can see these pluses and minuses here represent electricity, and you have this lighting signature here that you may remember from the concept vehicle that was shown not so long ago. At launch there's going to be just one drivetrain, but with 3 different trim levels. Those are Design, GS, and the one we have here, the Ultimate. Our test vehicle is painted in what they call impact copper, and we hope the only impact we make on the car is emotional, not physical. I think what's really cool here is the Vauxhall signature. It's 3D and it lights up. One thing the GS and the Ultimate trim levels have are these IntelliLux HD headlamps. So these are Vauxhall's version of the matrix LEDs that dip some of the lights within there to stop blinding oncoming traffic. We'll give more details about which each trim level includes in the written review. So we think it's a really good looking, handsome car on the outside, but what's it like on the inside? So the way these seats work to be so comfortable is this. So you imagine there's like a bike saddle for each cheek of your backside. So there's one here and one here, which leaves, shall we say, the nether regions dangling in a very comfortable way. So you're not actually putting too much pressure on your tailbone. So the idea being you can do a very long journey and not feel any back pain whatsoever. We've done quite a lot of driving in freezing Suffolk and into Norfolk on this car launch, and I can say it does work. It is a very, very comfortable car. As you might expect with a family car, it's got a very conventional interior. We've got some good storage here, very deep enough to put a can and your hand all the way down into it. And talking of which, this can fits very nicely in here in this cup holder. You've got another area there. We've put some mints in there instead of another can. Mobile phone you can put here, and this is a very clever little piece, bit of opaque plastic which stops you looking at your phone when you have it charging wirelessly there. And you've got 2 USB-C slots here, which again, very, very useful indeed for you and your passenger. Everything is very well laid out, including all of the switch gear on the steering wheel. And you can use this as an armrest here. Everything feels great within this car. The seats are honestly very, very supportive. And as for the glove compartment, it might not be the biggest, but you know, it's not too bad. Look, here's the can back again. Fit that in there, get some mints in there, loads of gloves as well. Pretty good. Honestly, this is a really comfortable car, even in the back. I've got quite a bit of headroom, but what I'm really impressed with is the fact I've just been driving on 5'11", sitting in the back. Obviously, I'm still 5'11", but look how much room there still is between my knees and the driver's seats. And as for elbow room, you know, you can easily get 2 adults in here, 3rd one at a push, but when it comes to kids, you'll get 3 across the back, no problem whatsoever. I also don't feel particularly claustrophobic. You might think you would with a car that has dark headliner and dark sort of trim all around it, but obviously got a massive great sunroof here that lets all the natural light in. Even the headrests are comfy, and then we've got got this here. It lifts out, so you put your pens, your drinks in there, and of course just use that as an armrest. Actually, I can honestly see myself being a really content rear seat passenger for hundreds of miles in this car. Rear seat passengers also get their own air vents, and beneath that you've got 2 USB slots and a 12-volt car adapter. And there are seat back pockets for your kids to stick in their copy of the history of General Motors or whatever it is your kids read these days. And really importantly, you've got ISOFIX points here to put your child car seats in. You've got one on each side of the back seats, but you haven't got any on the front seat. With an SUV of this class, you really want some decent boot space, and the Grandland does deliver in that respect. You've got 550 litres of space, and that includes the room below this floor. And of course, there's even more space when you start to take the parcel shelf off and then drop the rear seats. So you get 1,645 litres if you drop this seat, the 40 split, the 20 split, and the other 40 split. So you could potentially fit a very tall, thin, unlike me, adult across the back all the way through, or more likely a pair of skis. This car can also tow 1,200 kilograms braked, which actually isn't bad for an EV. So this first release of this car has got a 73 kilowatt hour battery, giving it a range of 318 miles WLTP. The top rate DC is 160 kilowatts, giving it a charging time of 26 minutes, and that's between 20 and 80%. And then you have the AC, which is 11 kilowatt hours, and that takes 4 hours 30 minutes from 20 to 80%. And then you have the AC at 7 kilowatts, which will take 6 hours and 45 minutes to get from 20 to 80%. So overall, the Grandland Electric is perfectly capable of long distance driving. The switch gear on the steering wheel is pretty logically laid out. You've got the volume buttons and microphone here, and this side you've got cruise control and what have you. And the left stalk you've got the indicators and the lights. And on the right you've got the windscreen wipers and the windscreen washer. So logic seems to be the order of the day with Vauxhall. You have the gear selector here, which P for park, and you've got the reverse, neutral and drive, and the other rocker switch here is the drive mode, and in that you have sport, normal and eco, and then behind it you have the electronic parking brake. You've got the paddles on the steering wheel here that increase and decrease the regenerative braking. So although we've got a screen here and you've got all the digital gubbins you might want, there's still room for physical switches, which a lot of manufacturers fail to incorporate these days, but they are very useful when you're on the move. So you've got some very obvious heating switches here, you've got the fan control, you've got the temperature, auto, and you've got windscreen quick clear, rear windscreen demist, and again you've just got everything within easy reach. You've got the standard 10-inch display here, which shows you how much electricity and range you have. It also shows you whether you've got seatbelt on, you've got the speedometer, plus you can see which driving mode you're in. All sorts of information like that is clearly presented in front of you through the steering wheel here. You may just about see with our camera there is a HUD or a head-up display within this Grandland. There we are. That is actually in real life really clear, and on this slightly sunny wintry day in Suffolk it isn't so clear on camera, but that is really useful, and you can see anything from satellite navigation through to the speed limit and your speed that you're driving at. I really love this 16-inch infotainment screen. It just looks really neatly incorporated within the Grandland. It's not bolted on as though some cars have sort of almost used it as an afterthought, if you like. This is very, very nicely incorporated. Swipe left, you've got radio, you've got the application drawer here for everything. There we are, look at that. Energy, help, navigation, mirror screen, media. Hey Vauxhall is great as well. So obviously rather than having to type everything in, you can, as you might do with the Alexa or Google, hey Vauxhall, give it a little command and it should respond very well. Navigation here, it's very clear. The screen is actually really responsive. Just keep going through, you've got all sorts of things such as the temperature here if you don't want to use these physical controls. What is very useful is on this particular model we have right here, I have on the heated seat, the heated steering wheel, great in winter, everything. You've even got the air quality, and you can also set your preconditioning, and then you've got the climate as well. And you've got the home screen, and you can return to everything there, listen to the radio, whatever you want to do. Really functional, really useful, and at the end of the day, actually, as screens go, good looking. At launch, this car will be front wheel drive only. It comes with 213 PS and 345 Newton meters of torque. So 0 to 62 on this car comes in 9 seconds, which means for an EV this isn't particularly fast. There will be an all-wheel drive version alongside the slightly bigger battery version that's in the pipeline. We're in an urban setting right now and it feels really nimble, this car. It feels comfortable and you're well insulated from all the noise outside. And actually, just out of interest to say this to you right now, that this car is based on the Peugeot E3008 platform, and yet to me it feels bigger than that car. If you're interested and you've got your anorak on, this platform is called Stella Medium, and there's a hybrid version of the Grandland as well if you're not prepared to go fully electric just yet. So as I say, the Grandland feels very agile around town, but if we open it up a bit now on this dual carriageway and stretch its legs, yep, it's not particularly fast as I've mentioned. However, it's perfectly fine. It gives you a sense of speed, and all EVs do, far quicker really than its petrol or diesel counterpart. Absolutely nothing wrong with this. I can feel myself looking at the range, 261 miles to go. I could sit here very happily, especially on these seats that are designed to improve posture, designed to not give you a bad back. If you're into driving and driving is something you enjoy doing, then I'm not sure the Grandland will be the car for you. It will be the EV for you though, if you're A, committed to going fully electric, and B, perhaps you have a family, because this is a big, well, pretty big, comfortable car. Well, with all cars, whether they're family cars or not these days, they come with so many safety bits and bobs that it can do your head in, and this Stellantis model does have the familiar ADAS pack that will ding and bong and ping and remind you which speed limit you're in and what you're doing in terms of for your own safety. But you know, this is a very, very safe planted car that would make an excellent buy if you are indeed in the market for an EV. The standout feature we noticed on this was it does have automatic lane change technology fitted to it, which is reassuring in many ways, especially after a long day behind the wheel. Of course, Vauxhall, being a British brand, is very, very aware of the changes with British taxation, in particular the pretty expensive car tax that's coming in 2025. And to its credit, Vauxhall has attempted to keep all its products below the £40,000 threshold. This Grandland Ultimate trim version we're driving here is actually slightly over that at just £41,000. But to balance that, the entry-level design trim is around £37,000. The GS trim steps that up to £38,000, so you can get some really good levels of equipment without going over that expensive £40,000 car tax threshold. We're back in an urban environment, stuck at some traffic lights, so it gives me a chance now just to look around, and I've got to say the visibility of the new Grandland is great. Yeah, I feel the driving position's high, all-round visibility, front and side is great, rear visibility, no issue whatsoever. Obviously slightly thicker rear pillars, but no, all in all, I feel quite safe, quite composed, and quite confident driving this car. This is, as I say, I keep saying, a very comfortable car, and the seats in this are actually AGR certified, which this is a German certification, and I can confirm that these AGR seats have been and still are comfortable, and my backside is feeling very supported. So what do we think of the car? Well, we think it's handsome, it's got good range, it's not the most affordable, but it's still affordable. And for a family EV, what more can you ask for? Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe to our YouTube channel.